Hello and welcome everyone. This is your astrology forecast for full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. This is like 10 full moons. This is the energy like having an unaccountable number of full moons. It's like in modern saying full moon on steroids, but it's very eye-opening. And we can expect a lot of aha moments, a lot of epiphanies, a lot of clarity, and the fog is clearing right now, but it will be intense. It will be a lot of that mental and emotional fog that we will walk through, and we will see that it wasn't even there. And this is lunar eclipse, and this is the last eclipse in the cycle of Taurus-Scorpio eclipses that began at the end of 2021. So there is some storyline that follows these eclipses, and this one is the last. This is the grand finale of this storyline that began around that time, around the end of 2021. But of course it's connected to previous periods. As you know, eclipses are connected to previous cycles, and these cycles are 18, 19 years long, and 7, 8, 9 years long as well. So the last time this exact energy was activated, when it was also lunar eclipse in Taurus, it was November 2002. November 2002, it was also lunar eclipse in Taurus. Then the next one was in November 2003, and the next one was in October 2004. So these times is when we had this very similar energy, but of course we had similar energy again between the end of 2012 and 2014. So some lessons, some situations that we've been through, some challenges and tests and breakups and hardships that we've experienced may now be activated again, and they are actually culminating. Full moon brings culminations, completions, dramas, endings, closures. This is the time of the highest peak of something. Things are coming to a head, but things are also coming to a fruition. Things are brought to light. Something is revealed. Something that has been hidden is now exposed. It's brought to light, so we can see it, we can sense it, we can acknowledge it, we can adjust it, we can resolve it and reveal it, and release it, let it go, get rid of it. And this is very big because it's very much connected to our karmic cycles, to our ancestral karmic patterns, to how we feel about life and death, because we have full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, and the sun is in Scorpio, in the opposite sign. So we have Taurus and Scorpio polarity, very strong now, and Mars is also in Scorpio, and Mars is the original ruler of Scorpio, so it's very strong in Scorpio, and it can trigger some very intense emotional reactions, and it triggers things like being very reactive, being jealous, obsessive, possessive, violent, aggressive, full of rage, full of need to prove ourselves, to impose our will, to be too demanding, impatient, impulsive. But of course we can use this energy in a very constructive way, in a way to inspire, to lead others, to motivate, to encourage, to empower, to move forward despite everything and not look back. And Mercury is also together with Mars here. Mercury is in Scorpio together with Mars. They are in conjunction, and it's very tricky energy, because we may speak before we think, and we may say things that we may regret later, or we may have a need to say anything no matter what, but thanks to Taurus energy, and the ruler of Taurus is Venus, Venus is in Virgo, we will be able to calm ourselves down, because Taurus is about calmness and groundedness and being able to calm ourselves and ground ourselves. And we also have Saturn in a positive, friendly aspect with the Sun. They are in trine aspect, and there is harmonious energy between Saturn at the first degrees, 0 degrees of Pisces, and the Sun 5 degrees of Scorpio. So there is help from the invisible world, Pisces and Scorpio, the invisible, the intangible, the unknown, otherworldly, spiritual dimensions. So we will have some support from the unknown and very calming effect, and we will be able to bring some deep and profound healing, profound emotions, profound emotional connections, deepening of our connections with others, bonding strongly with others through some maybe taboo themes, through some intense moments, through some hard and difficult situations, but there is something that is finally being removed. It's finally falling away from us. The burden is finally removed, and we will feel relief, because this is the grand finale eclipse of the eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio, and they are very, very strong, as I said. And Taurus-Scorpio, Taurus is life, represents life, Scorpio represents death. Taurus is the surface, while Scorpio is the depth. But we need both. You know, Taurus and Scorpio, they create a whole, just as any other opposite pair. But Taurus and Scorpio are very, very important, because they represent the main 4 axes of the fixed energy, and they carry the energy that is ancient and that is imprinted in our most ancient parts of our DNA, so to say, for awakening of our soul. The bull and the snake, the throat chakra and the root chakra, and everything in between, the awakening of the Kundalini energy, and being able to wake up ourselves through our voice, to speak from the heart, to speak our truth, to be able to express ourselves fully, to embody the spirit. So we have the surface and the depth, we have the calmness and the storm. So we may see the surface is calm, but what is underneath we don't know, and underneath may be chaotic. So we may see people around us who seem very calm and grounded on the surface, but underneath they are very messy and chaotic, and there is something going on there that is very heavy and disturbing, and we may now be able to reveal those things, to feel exposed in front of others, and others to feel exposed in front of us. And so we are going to connect with people on a deeper level. We are going to see what is really going on behind that surface, beneath that surface, behind those masks that we carry in front of others, that we carry in our everyday world with others, in our everyday life. So we will be able to see those masks falling, but not in a way that we will see some true behavior of others to judge them, no, but to see how people are wounded, to see their pain, to see their state of being, so that we can help others, not accuse others, because many things will be exposed, like the shadows will be exposed, the shadows of others will be exposed, and they will be brought to light, they will be brought to the surface. So what is in the depth of Scorpio will be pulled up on the surface, Taurus. And we are asked not to judge, not to accuse, not to, be afraid or terrified by what we hear or see or witness, but to be able to recognize the root cause of that, because those are the symptoms, those are the consequences, and we are asked not to deal with the consequences and symptoms, but to deal with the root cause, to reach that karmic chain of where it all came from, and to somehow be able to bring understanding, that deep emotional bond, to build that deep emotional bond, to build something stable and reliable. Building is the Taurus energy, to build something reliable. Scorpio is reliable and persistent and devoted and endurable and sustainable, as well as Taurus. This is fixed energy, very strong, can put up with a lot of things, can tolerate a lot. But now some of us may break things, we may feel like we are going to just snap. We may make some quick decisions, because we have Uranus in Taurus, and Uranus is planet of sudden and unexpected shifts and situations. It's the planet of awakening, of shocks and surprises, of things we couldn't see coming. And we also have Jupiter in Taurus, and Jupiter expands everything it touches, so it can expand a lot of things that are happening now, whether they are good or bad. But this eclipse should be a little bit less intense than the one we had 2 weeks ago in Libra. But these energies are they are very strong, and they will be strong in the future period, because eclipses are active for 6 months. Their energy is very strong, and in 6 months we will have more eclipses. But this cycle is over, and this is the moment when we are going to feel that culmination, that need to break free from something. Uranus, to break free, we are going to feel that our ground is shaken up, and we are searching for some security. Taurus, we are searching for something safe, but we have to walk through the unknown, through the invisible. Scorpio, and our inner world is disturbed, our depth is disturbed, and the surface, of course, will be disturbed as well. So if we have been stuffing down something for a very, very long time, if we have been suppressing too much, if we have been shutting down our emotions, our expressions, then of course eruptions and volcanoes can happen. Uranus is in Taurus, and Scorpio energy is strong, and these are eruptions and volcanoes. So our Earth, our planet Earth, also responds in this way. When there is too much pressure, some things like this have to happen. So if there is too much pressure, we are going to feel these eruptions and volcanoes, but they have to be processed, they have to be digested. So we will see those things that are disturbing and uncomfortable, things that happen behind closed doors, things that others not talk about, things that are kept secret, things that we are silent about, things that we don't want others to know about us, things that others don't want us to know about them, things that are not said. We will be able to sense and feel those things that are kept silent, and that are kept in secret and hidden. We will be able to intuitively feel them. And again, we are asked not to judge and accuse, but to be able to help, especially in those situations when society, when we as society blame and accuse and judge others for something that is obviously wrong, but we never offer a true help that is needed, so that we can resolve that problem, so that it doesn't have to repeat so often, because we are never going to resolve anything by the same game that we are playing of award and punishment. And this is the time when we can change this pattern, so we can offer help instead of just removing what is wrong, removing what is not right, and let's pretend that everything is fine. Let's just pretend that everything is perfect, because that's the easiest option, that's the easiest way. So this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is definitely asking us to stop pretending and to remove those masks, and to show our inner discomfort, to show our depth, to bring it to the surface, not to fake our not to be fake when it comes to our behavior with others, but to be true and to be raw in that. Because Scorpio and Taurus, these are raw emotions, raw feelings, raw expression of who we are. And Taurus represents also resources that are above the ground, like food that grows above the ground, and flowers and plants, everything that is above the ground, trees, leaves. And Scorpio represents resources that are underground, like minerals, crystals, and those things that are under the ground, all the riches and abundance that we have underground in the invisible. So the same will be applied in our lives, the resources that are manifested, that we can see in our life, like our body, our expression, our face, our beauty, our material possessions and resources, our house, our cars, all those things, our clothes, and then resources that we have inside of us, our character, our morals, our ethics, our behavior, our inner reactions, our inner state of being, our connection with spirit, our spiritual expression and suppression as well. So we are going to experience all those things and to see what is not right there and what needs to change. Taurus is also reaping the fruits, getting the seeds, seeing the fruition of something, and Scorpio is burying something under the ground. It's pushing things under the ground, and Taurus is pulling them out. Taurus is physical, Scorpio is metaphysical. So Taurus is the manifested world, what we can see. It is the seed that is planted. And Scorpio represents the invisible and intangible, the unconscious realm, what we don't see. And it represents the decomposition of the seed. The seed is growing and it reaches the culmination and then it dissolves. So the growth and dissolution, Taurus and Scorpio. This is the matter and energy, the polarity of matter and energy. And I often speak about the matter and energy when I speak about Taurus and Scorpio, because Taurus is the matter, material world, while Scorpio represents energy, energetic body, energetic world. And matter can turn into energy, and energy can turn into matter. Each opposite can turn into another opposition, and these things will be shifting. We will see how matter turns into energy, how energy turns into matter. And this period of time of full moon, lunar eclipse, and Scorpio season is when the wheels between the worlds are very thin. And of course, there is Samhain festival as well, the Day of the Dead, known as Halloween. But these are things that are known, and this is when the wheels are thin, and when entities and spirits and otherworldly energies can easily mix with our material realm. And when we from this material realm can easily shift into those realms on the other side, so we will see a lot of those mysterious, mystical experiences. Mysticism and symbolism will be there. These things will be very strong in our dreams. We may have some very weird dreams as well. And we will see how life and death are the part of the whole. They create the whole. These are very natural cycles, and we cannot stop these things from happening. These are things that we are afraid of. Scorpio is about our fears, our suppressed fears, our unconscious fears, our traumas, things that we are ashamed of as well. So these things will be exposed, and we are asked to be a bit more in a role of an observer. This is always the key when these strong energies are present. And Taurus is about being calm, and Scorpio is representing the storm and chaos. So it's really about being able to be calm in the middle of the storm and being able to observe without being too much attached and identified with what is going on around us. This is the battle between the visible and invisible. The archetype of Taurus is the artist, while the archetype of Scorpio is the hero. So we will be shifting and feeling the power struggle between those two, between the artists of life and heroes of life. Where we are, and are we there in between? Which side do we choose? The ruler is Venus of Taurus, and the ruler of Scorpio, the original ruler of Scorpio, is Mars. But we also had the same, very similar, during the previous eclipse in Libra. Opposite of Libra is Aries. The ruler is Mars. So now again we have this polarity between Venus and Mars, this masculine and feminine principles, these archetypes that we are going to see very strongly around us, how these roles have been divided and how they are either separating us or uniting us or manipulating us or limiting us or liberating us. These roles we are going to be more exposed, more evident, more obvious between the feminine and the masculine, between the role of a woman and the role of a man, and how these roles are changing. And I mentioned last time these traditional roles are going to be transformed, but they shouldn't be twisted. And we will see, of course, these gender wars will be happening as well. But somebody said that they don't see anything bad in tradition, but it's not about tradition, and traditional roles are not the same. So just wanted to mention that. I now remembered it, because people think that there was saying about tradition. No, it was about traditional roles, which is completely different. Tradition is something different from traditional roles, and tradition is related to Saturn. So Saturn in Pisces is really also going to make us question things that we have learned and things that are deeply rooted in our behavior, and what real and true authentic tradition is about. The tradition of being able to live this life in the right way, the tradition of celebrating life, the tradition of being connected with the spirit. Those kinds of traditions will be very strong in our lives in the next 2 years. As long as Saturn is in Pisces, we will be able to transform this from inside out, because Pisces is also the otherworldly and spiritual dimension. It's about our altered states. It's about things that we cannot explain, things that are very mystical and mysterious. So we are going to feel these things very deeply, and our psychic abilities will be enhanced, our intuition will be enhanced, but we also have to use our rational side of being. And just as this polarity is teaching us, Taurus and Scorpio, the physical and the metaphysical, the matter and energy, the life and death, the day and night. Day and night together are one whole day. So we cannot have day without the night. We cannot have night without the day. And we also have to accept that when it's the day, it's the day. We cannot switch off the day and make it be night. No matter how much we would want that, it's not possible. Also, when it's the night time, no matter how much we would love to see that there is daylight, we cannot just make it happen and make it be a day. So these are natural cycles that we have to accept. And we have to accept that there is life, there is death, there is day and there is night, there is midday and there is midnight, the culmination of the day, the culmination of the night. Beautiful and bestial. Beautiful would be in Taurus archetype, because there is Venus, and bestial would be in Scorpio, Mars and Pluto. War energy, death energy. Simplicity, Taurus, and complexity, Scorpio. Creation, Taurus, and destruction, Scorpio. Peace, Taurus and Venus. War, Scorpio, Pluto and Mars. Birth, Taurus. Rebirth, Scorpio. Rebirth, regeneration, transformation, metamorphosis, transmutation, conversion, alchemical process, growth of seeds and decomposition. And these things will be very, very strong, and it may feel intense, but we will also feel that relief, as I said, because these things will give us a very profound insight about what life is about, what death is about, what we are all about, why we are here, what are we doing here, what is the meaning, what is the purpose. Because Taurus, in its simplest basic things, is just about what we need in order to survive in this realm. Food, shelter, clothes, material stuff, money. And Scorpio asks, but what is the meaning of all of that? What is the meaning behind of that? What is beyond this? What is underneath it? You know, what gives us the seed? Who gives us the seed? Okay, we have the seed, but who produces this seed? Can we produce the seed? We cannot create food. We can help food grow, but we are not the ones who create that food. We are not the ones who create the seed. So where is this seed coming from? And those kinds of questions will be strong. So it's not just about moving through this life and surviving. It's much more than that. There is so much more. There must be something more. There must be something else, something behind this visible realm. And these things that are now showing us and exposing those things that are beneath the surface in others and in ourselves may trigger some deep emotions and compassion and empathy. So let's not lose ourselves in trying to save someone and become victims ourselves of that. Because we may see someone as a victim and we may try to save them, but we become victims in that process ourselves. So let's just be careful. Let's be able to do our best, but not to become victims in that process. And this is very, very, very spiritual energy. And we may be asked, we may be faced with living. How would we live our life without everything that we are used to live with? You know, how can we imagine our lives without things that we are used to? Imagine everything that you are used to, everything that creates our comfort zone, everything, all our habits, our pleasures, are things that we enjoy doing in life. And what would we do? What would be the process? Where would we go if we were left without those things that we are used to? What if we suddenly lost everything that we have materially? What would matter? What would be one thing that would be crucial? What is one thing that we cannot lose? What is one thing that we are 100% sure of? Is there something like that? Can we invest in those things? We should invest in those things that are permanent, that are always valuable. Taurus, values, the concept of values, things that are long-lasting, things that are really meaningful. So we will be questioning our priorities. And this polarity of Taurus and Scorpio is a lot about our finances, and this is globally and individually as well. Our finances, Taurus represents our money, money that I earn, money that I put energy into earning, while Scorpio represents shared resources and joint finances, money that I receive through others, money that we share with other people, money that we receive through other people, money that we receive through inheritances. Scorpio and Taurus will bring up those themes of self-sufficiency, being able to survive in this world, being able to provide everything that we need, being able to share, to pay our rent, to have everything that we need. But again, the question is, what is the meaning behind all of that? What kind of connection do we have with our inner world, with our inner self, and can we embody that into our external world? We have to embody this energy, because we are the greatest resource. You know, we may be asked, what are your resources? But if we are not aware that we ourselves are the resource, we will always feel the lack of resources. So we can truly be abundant when we recognize that we are the resource, we have the energy, and then we create this energy, we turn it into matter. We convert energy that we have and that we receive each day, and we charge and discharge ourselves all the time. And we don't need any charger to to connect ourselves with, because we naturally recharge and discharge ourselves. So we can use our resources powerfully during this time and understand that we truly are the greatest resource. The best abundant place where we can be is with ourselves, so we can trust ourselves. And many of us will see that we are definitely very much detached and disconnected from who we truly are. We are running, we are either running away from something, or we are chasing something. We are chasing our dreams, we are chasing our ambitions, we are trying to achieve something so much. We are trying to save money so much. So we will see a lot of struggles between those saving and spending money, big purchases, need to show ourselves, need to be seen, need to be recognized for what we have and not for who we are. We may mix, we may confuse who we are with what we have. We are not what we have. So we have to see the difference between who we are and what we have. Majority of people confuse these things, and they start behaving in alignment with what they have or what they don't have. So we identify ourselves according to what we have and what we don't have, and we think that we are what we have or don't have. But this is a time when we are really able to see that it's really important to understand true meaning, true priorities, true essential significance of being who we are, and being able to recognize our inner field, those unknown and unseen places, and to see what is inner peace really. Inner Scorpio, peace Taurus. Where is this inner peace located? How often do we feel it? How can we describe this inner peace? What is it bringing to us? What am I lacking in order to try to reach that inner peace? And we may have a tendency to have extreme reactions. So this is the polarity again, extreme reactions and inner peace. And we will see how these polarities work in us. So let's try to avoid that extreme in our reaction. And Uranus in Taurus can, break up the dried earth so that something can grow. And this dry earth, Taurus and Uranus can break it up and show us what is beneath that ground, beneath that dry ground, and be able to grow something there. And everything that is stagnant will be blown away, and this will feel uncomfortable, of course. And we cannot allow anything to be stagnant here. Scorpio energy is like the wild river. It just takes away everything, and especially all impurities, and we will see things that are toxic in our life. Scorpio is about poisons and toxicity, and this is very powerful energy for detoxification, for purging all of that, for removing things that are toxic, toxic intimate relationships, toxic financial business relationships, toxic business, toxic partners in business and in love and in friendships, toxic food as well, because Taurus also represents the food, toxic values, toxic priorities. All these things will be exposed very much, and we will see some ugly truths being exposed, and it may feel like injection of truth, and this injection may hurt, but it will give us something good as well. We know that when we receive some kind of injection, it hurts a little bit, but it's for our good. It's something that will heal us. So this is big healing through something that is a bit uncomfortable. This is construction through destruction. This is rebirth, and we know that a rebirth cannot happen unless something dies first. So something needs to die for something new to be born, and this process is not easy. The process of giving birth is not easy, and we are now giving birth to something, and this is not something new that we are faced with now. Even though we may be shocked, because Uranus, even though there are shocks, but it's not new really. This is something we've already witnessed, something we've already sensed, something we've already seen and intuitively recognized. So it's something very deep, and it's very much related to our relationships, to our karmic patterns, to our ancestral karmic attachments, to our mechanical reactions and actions, and secret emotional resources. And this is a reminder that just as matter becomes energy, energy becomes matter, one becomes the other, there is a lot of shape-shifting, and nothing is ever truly lost. The greatest message of eclipses always, and that we are immortal beings. Nothing is lost, it's transformed. So what eclipses do, they bring something into our life, but they also take away something from our life. So these are final goodbyes, final manifestations of something, final culminations, final conversations, final words, final completion of something, final stage of some process that has been dark, heavy, disturbing, intense, and very deeply transformative. So this is the energy of earth and matter, earth, Taurus, and water, Scorpio. Earth and water, creation of life. And we need both for life. Of course, with water and earth we can also create the mud, but with water and earth we can create new life and plant new seeds. And this is the womb, the mother nature, the taste of life. And moon is exalted in Taurus. The moon feels the best when it's in Taurus. So with our taste, with our refined taste, with our voice, with our stability, our calmness, we can transform energies to higher frequencies. So we have to be down to earth, grounded, stable, using our voice, using our breath, observing and breathing, singing, opening our third eye with singing and breathing and observing. And it's very powerful. And this is an energy of very, very strong connection with some ancient energies that are actually eternal. Ancient doesn't mean it was somewhere in the past. Ancient means eternal, and it's always present, and it's always It's not like a law that is active only now, and in 50 years the law will not be valid. These are laws that are always valid. These are cosmic laws. These ancient energies are cosmical laws that never change. And Taurus is related to Pleiadians, and Pleiadians, Pleiades, the constellation of 7 sisters, 7 stars, and the star called Aldebaran, the eye of the bull, related to the mythology of Isis, Osiris, and Horus, and Set. And this is the story of resurrection and rebirth as well. This is the story of destruction and creation, of creation, maintenance, destruction, and again, death, rebirth, birth, death, rebirth, appearance, disappearance, reappearance. These are the cycles that are constantly changing, and they are being renewed, recovered, transformed. So this is the story of death, birth, rebirth, reincarnation, our connection with who we truly are, with what is eternal, with what is immortal, what is always there, the eye of illumination, one seeing eye, the one that is awakened through our ability to be true to who we are, not to be fake, not to pretend, but to be able to recognize the storm and the chaos, and to recognize the mess that I spoke of in previous video as well, and to be fine with it, to accept it fully, to accept all of who we are, especially those things that we don't like, especially those things, because as long as we deny and ignore and neglect those things that we don't like, we are feeding our shadow, and this shadow grows bigger and bigger as we feed it with those fears and suppression and denial and avoidance. This is how we feed the shadow. Whatever we dislike, whatever we disagree with, whatever we are fighting against, this is feeding our shadow, and this is how we get in conflict with life. And this is very much about being able to embody that energy, to own ourselves completely, to own who we are completely, to be self-sufficient in who we are, to be emotionally independent, and to build our inner strength. Scorpio is about the inner energy, Taurus is about the strength, and this is a lot about our inner strength. So where is that inner strength? How do we build it? How this inner strength is created? Where does it come from? It comes through some things that we maybe don't like, but this is how we do things that we usually would never do. When we hit the rock bottom, this is when we realize, okay, now I have to change something. Okay, this is it. Now I'm done with it. Now I have to do something different. And this is when people transform themselves. You know those big transformations, when we see big transformations in people's lives, this is when they hit the rock bottom and they decide that they are going to change their life completely. These kinds of energies are now very strong, and we may see people around us who are now transforming, and we may be the ones who are transforming deeply. And we will see that this is when something that we are quiet about will come up. It has to come up. Something that we are not talking about. Darkness is illuminated and the light is darkened. And we have to accept both of these things that are happening. But new cycle begins, final ending of something, final goodbye, final manifestation. And this is about having strength and patience and stability and security and material security and being able to do the hard work and to endure something, to be fertile, to be abundant, to maintain. This is energy of maintenance and container, enjoying simple pleasures and being pragmatic and protective and stubborn and persistent. All of these things are Taurus energies, and Taurus is the bull. It can be the raging bull, and it can be the bull that enjoys in the nature. So which bull are we now? And bull is very much related to the age of, this is the age of Taurus, Babylonian age, the period of Egypt rising, and banking systems and money and resources, agriculture, economy, lands, assets, properties, resources, family, seeds, planting, nature. This is when these things are important. Bull was sacred. This is why we have the holy cow. The cow was the holy animal, and many gods and goddesses with the face of the cow or the bull. We have Hathor, the goddess with the bull, the horns of the cow, and the Apis, the sacred bull. Many of these things are very strongly now related, and these are ancient deities as well. The bull, the bell, the bill, everything related, the bowl. All these things are not coincidences, because words are very much important. They create shapes as well. They are spells, and we have Mercury in Scorpio now next to Mars in opposition with this energy, with this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, and we will see the importance of words. As I always say, words are spells, and the deities that we have been told are evil, we may see that they are not actually evil, because these things have been twisted. So we will see some energies now that we may have thought are bad are not so bad, and vice versa. Things that seem good may turn out to be bad, and things that seem bad may turn out to be good. And this will be different for all of us. This can be seen in our relationships, in our mental patterns, in our opinions, in our behaviors, in how we see external situations in the world. So something that has been presented as good may now turn out not to be so good, and something that has been presented to us as something bad may turn out not to be so bad. So we will see how this works in our lives, and this is where we are able to understand that we are truly endless beings, because these are energies that are always active, and just as matter can turn into energy and energy can turn into matter, we are also shape-shifting all the time. And the glyph of Taurus represents our throat chakra as well. We have the full circle and the horns. They are like the semi-circle, the crescent moon, those horns, and the full moon is like the head of the bull. And these things also represents the tubes that connect ears and throat. They are very important. Our logos, our ability to hear and speak. This is what's very important. Are we able to listen, to hear, and to say, and to hear what we are saying and to hear what others are saying? Logos, the word in the beginning was the word, the sound, the light, because the sound is the same as light and the light is the same as the sound when they are converted. And the circle is endless, and it has no end or beginning. Where does the circle begin? Where does the circle end? It has no ending or beginning. It's an unmanifested source from where all manifestation comes from. This is a circle with center everywhere, and we will see that center is everywhere. We are the center. I am the center. You are the center, and you are eternal. You have no beginning and no ending. And these horns also represent light that is brought into form. Light bends. This is the moment when light bends and turns into a sound and it shapes the matter. So this is the creation of matter through energy. You know, energy has a direction and it goes like a straight line, and then it starts bending as it becomes dense and denser and denser, and it turns into a matter, and then it starts bending, and we have curves and shapes and rounded shapes of Taurus, Venus, rounded shapes, and Mars we have direction. We have direct energy that is very straight line, and masculine and feminine, direct and shaped. And this is when we are going to become the channel for that light. This is the moment in time when we are truly able to become those channels of light, and we may hear and see and feel and be able to speak the essence of our own selves. It's very important what we are listening, what we are hearing, what we are saying. It's very important. This is material for our soul growth. This is the fuel for our growth. So what kind of information comes to us, what kind of information we share externally, these things will be very, very strongly important. And this is the moment when we can embody this life force. And it's very significant to know that the world that we leave behind now is not coming back. What we are leaving behind now is never going to come back, not, at least not in this lifetime for us. So what we are leaving behind, what we are saying goodbye to, what we are definitely ready to let go of finally, will not come back. And our only option is to move forward. And we are going to ask ourselves, what do I need to give birth to? What do I need to rebirth in my life? And of course, as I said, rebirth means that something has to die first. So it's not easy, but this is like giving a birth. It's hard and heavy, but we know it's going to give new life, and we are also happy and excited. And of course it's uncomfortable, but it's very beautiful. Beauty, Taurus and Venus energy, love and beauty and harmony and peace and gentleness and kindness. But of course these things cannot exist without these oppositions. So we have to be able to integrate all of this. And significant changes are happening with these things that I mentioned, that are under the rulership of Taurus and Scorpio, with money, food, land, properties, resources. Significant changes are happening there with our shared resources, with our ability to earn money and to share money. But we will be able to create something that is very important for us, that will be important for us in the next 18 years at least, because this is the end of this cycle of eclipses, and the next cycle of eclipses that will have the same position of the North Node and South Node will be happening again in 18 years. And let's not make some headless decisions, because we have the South Node, and South Node is now making this conjunction with the Sun in Scorpio, but it's not in Scorpio, it's in Libra now, but nevertheless it's still affecting the axis of Taurus and Scorpio, even though the North Node and South Node are right now in Aries and Libra. But South Node is headless energy. In Vedic teachings and astrology, South Node is known as Ketu, and Ketu doesn't have a head. It's headless, and it makes headless decisions. And North Node is known as Rahu, and Rahu only has a head. So it can become lost in desires and in greedy wishes. So it can, using head, only eating all the time, eating wishes. So let's not make some headless decisions during this time. Let's be able to be more introspective, more focused on things that are truly important, and seeing that less is more. This is very important. Being able to accept things that are uncertain and unpredictable, to be able to be vulnerable, to lose our ground if we have to. Uranus in Taurus, we may lose our ground. This is, very going to show us new possibility to grow, to reinvent ourselves, and to see that truly less is more. So that we can become more independent, so that we don't have to be dependent on anything outside ourselves. We are going to be able to fill up our own glass and to build inner wisdom, to gain inner wisdom, and connecting with higher power and being self-sufficient. And we can create our own Garden of Eden if we slow down, if we take it easy, if we breathe and observe, if we can feel the body, wake up our body awareness, and to knowing that we are the greatest resource that there is, and asking ourselves, do we appreciate life? How do we appreciate life? What do we do so that we know that we appreciate life? How do I know that I appreciate life? What do I do in order to celebrate life? So we need to pause, we need to break, we need a break, we need space, we need openness to breathe, and to bring more slowness in our pace. That way we can remember who we are. We can never remember who we are if we are always in the rush, if we are always forcing something, if we are always pushing something, if we are always chasing something, if we are trying to achieve something continuously all the time, if we are all the time chasing our dreams, we can never remember who we are. We have to stop, we have to take a break, we have to slow down, we have to be introspective, and to recognize that we are our temples. Taurus represents our bodies as our temple, to be able to anchor, to remember, to preserve, this energy of Garden of Eden, to be able to nurture and nourish this garden, to recognize our own values, to renew our value system, to reevaluate our value system, to create stable container where spirit meets matter in our body, and being able to see that it's not necessarily that our soul is into our body, but soul is everywhere around us, and it actually contains the body. It's not the other way around. It's not that we have the soul somewhere inside of our body. It's that our body is actually inside of the soul. And we can get ourselves out of the frying pan, and that will be very important, because we may feel as if we are being fried, but we can use this fire to purge ourselves and to get ourselves out of that frying pan, and we can detach from other people's fears and anxieties and panic attacks and theories and paranoid thoughts. We can detach ourselves from other people's issues, but being able also to offer some help without becoming victims. And this is done through being able to give space to ourselves and to others, being able to for doing things that are simplicity, and having necessary stability so that we can apply these processes of changes, and so that we can process the drama, process the chaos. This is the energy of the catalyst, and we are the catalyzers as well, and we need this, and we are going to embrace this. And these are things that go beyond comprehension, and it's inspiring and it's miraculous. Really, it's very big, and we are honoring our value system, and we are honoring who we are born to be, and we are going to understand that we are all rich We are all rich, we are all abundant, we carry divine spark within us, and synchronicity is very inspiring during this time, but crisis is necessary. And we can shine through thick and dense darkness now. We always can find a way to bring the spark in the middle of a black hole, in the middle of the black night. And we carry this silent universe within ourselves. And we know the music of the dance in the night. Dancing in the night, dance the Venus and Taurus energy in the night, Scorpio energy. And we can find inspiration in deepest corners, deepest dark corridors of our being. And old you and new you cannot exist at the same time. And this is energy of pulling up traumas out of our soul's recordings from ancient times and dealing with them. And we are going to see how we can do this. To slow down is really important. Singing is very important. Slowing down, eating as well, enjoying the taste, enjoying the moment, being able to value ourselves, and to see what are we truly loving and accepting about ourselves. These are internal battles, and we are going to see how far we've come, and we'll be able to own and understand that if we are too close to something, we may not see it. So we may have to detach, but we may also have to do some investigative work, detective work, Scorpio, to do some deep research, and we will want to know more. We will want to discover something. And this is like a never-ending hunger, maybe. We want more. This can turn into obsession, Scorpio, Mars, Pluto. But we will be able to make it work for us this time. We will be able to really create something powerful, something that is beyond our comprehension, as I said. And we are going to see that we suffer because we want things in our way. But now it's time to surrender to some higher power. And with this, I would end this forecast for this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, the last one in this cycle. And I invite you all to share your beautiful comments and your deep experiences, your profound expressions. And I'm highly and deeply thankful and grateful for all of you. And I invite you also to check out our Moon Omens website and amazing articles written by Lucrezia. And you can also find amazing, deep and transformative crystal articles. And they really give some powerful meaning. These are written by Jenna. So I also want to thank everyone in the Moon Omens team for making all of this possible, and for all of you who also make all of this possible. And this is it, we have to share our values, share our experiences, but also be able to own ourselves and to take care of our Eden's garden. I love you all and see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.